What's happening, everybody? It's Sean here, and I'm back today to give you a review of the Kith collaboration with Madison Square Garden and New Balance on this 990 V6 in this navy or New York Rangers colorway. Today's video is sponsored by Move Insoles. Move Insoles is one of the up-and-coming leaders in the performance insole space, and their products are designed and tested by pro athletes such as Damian Lillard and Chris Paul of the NBA. And while they're more known for their performance insoles, the ones that you put into your basketball shoes and wear on the court, they also sell this one right here, which is called their all-day insole. So this is meant to be worn with casual use sneakers, and in my experience, it's one of the most technologically advanced insoles that I've ever tried. First off, the majority of this insole, this is crafted using their recharge foam technology, which is what gives this insole its springy and responsive feel. And this black plate that you see back here, this essentially is a large TPU shank plate, which really cradles and supports the back half of your foot. So my favorite aspect about these insoles is that they feel very supportive, especially underneath the arches of my foot, and I love that. Beyond that though, there's more things, for example, like this active heel technology, which gives you added impact protection in the area that you need it most. So there's so much going on with these insoles, but don't take my word for it. I've linked their website, their social media, all that good stuff down below. So check them out, give a pair a shot, and let me know what you guys think. So this right here is the second of two colorways of the New Balance 990 V6, which Ronnie Fogg designed to celebrate Madison Square Garden, arguably the most iconic sports arena in the entire world. They released two pairs on October 6th, one which I already reviewed on my channel, which is inspired by the colors of the New York Knicks, and then this one inspired by the New York Rangers of the NHL. So these retailed for a price of $220 US or just under $300 Canadian, and the colorway for this shoe is navy, and the style code is U990KR6. And this pair, just like any other 990 V6, these are made in the USA. So if you already saw my review of the Knicks colorway, the packaging is exactly the same. So this comes in a white-based cardboard box, and we have this graphic on the top lid, which is inspired by signage in the New York subway system, and it's sort of done in this mosaic finish. And then on the side of the box, we also have Madison Square Garden branding here as well. And just like the other pair, it also comes with this canvas dust bag with Madison Square Garden, Kith, and New Balance co-branding found throughout. So as for the shoe itself, so diving right into the details, on the toe box you can see the base layer of this shoe. This is constructed out of a navy blue colored mesh. Right above this we have this reflective 3M panel, which is done in two tones of blue, and we have the New Balance branding in the middle, and we have another reflective panel in dark blue on the medial edge of the toe box. Overlaid on both sides of the toe box, we have this silver reflective panel, and then surrounding the front toe cap, we have this very soft and buttery navy blue colored suede. So this same suede covers the eyelets of the sneaker, but then the top two eyelets, this is covered in another reflective panel in two tones of blue, and then stitched on top of the mid panel, we have the oversized New Balance end logo. This again is also reflective, and it's done in a mix of blue and red. And then beneath this we have another strip of suede running down the entire length of the shoe. Moving further down, we have another reflective panel in dark blue, and then beneath this we have more suede, and then pressed onto the lateral side, here we have 990 branding in silver. In the middle of the heel, we have this blue colored TPU heel clip, which give you added structure and support for the back end of the shoe. And here you'll find New Balance and Made in USA branding pressed on in red. And then rounding up the heel, at the very top we have this red colored mesh, which really adds a lot of pop to the look of the shoe. As far as the laces go, so these come with two different lace options. The standard lace that they come with is a flat style navy blue colored lace, but if you want to give the shoe a bit more pop, they also come with a off-white colored lace as well, which will really give the shoe a lot more contrast. Beneath this, the bottom half of the tongue, this is covered in the same mesh that we saw earlier on the toe box. On the very top though, we have more of a tightly wound mesh, and then we have these red colored overlays which help to hold the laces in place, along with New Balance 990 V6 branding done in the signature New York Rangers colors. The back of the tongue and the interior of the shoe, this is covered in a navy blue colored mesh. And then as far as the insoles go, really nothing special here. This is just your typical Ortholite branded foam insole, which is pretty well padded, but this is common across any 990 V6. And then pressed onto the heel, we have Madison Square Garden and Kith branding found on the left foot, and New Balance and Ronnie Fogg branding pressed onto the right foot. So the upper of the 990 V6, this sits atop this fuel cell foam midsole, which is one of New Balance's top cushioning technologies. So the midsole is painted in this off-white color on the forefoot and done in more of a gray finish on the lateral heel. And in addition to fuel cell, we also have the end cap wedge, which is a dual density foam setup consisting of a softer EVA core surrounded by a stiffer polyurethane rim, giving you a good balance of softness and support. Finally, turning this pair over to the bottom, so the outsole here inspired by the ice that the New York Rangers play on. This is done in the semi-translucent icy finish. So like any other 990 V6, we have this wavy style traction pattern along with these grooves to give you added flexibility. And then in the middle of the heel, you can see we have that fuel cell foam underneath, which sits right on top of the outsole. So that breaks down the look and the construction of this pair. And for sizing, these fit to me like any other 990 V6, so it fits more on the longer side lengthwise and a little bit more on the narrow side widthwise. So my foot measures as a true size 10, slightly on the wider side. I prefer to go down a half size to a 9.5, which is what I did for this pair. So by going down that half size, it solves the issue of the extra length in the shoe. But yes, the width of the shoe, specifically around the ball of your foot, it can feel a little bit snug straight out of the box. But if you have patience, in my experience at least, the more I wear in my 990 V6s, it definitely wears in and breaks in over time around this toe box area. So while initially it can feel a little bit snug, to me, after a few wears, it fits me perfectly fine. But your mileage may vary if you don't have that patience, or if you just have a really wide foot, maybe sticking true to size would be better for you and you can just deal with the extra length. For reference sake, I also wear a 9.5 in a lot of made in USA New Balance shoes, like the 992, 993, 990 V3, V4, and V5. And in comparison, I stick true to size in other models like the 2002R, 860 V2, 1906R, and a lot of made in UK models like the 991 and the 1500. Moving on to the comfort, so the 990 V6, it's an extremely comfortable New Balance shoe. Because they utilize this very chunky fuel cell foam midsole, it feels very well cushioned, but at the same time it feels a little bit unstable. So if you like a shoe that has a bit more of a dynamic rocking motion to it, this is a shoe that you would love. You can definitely feel that squishiness and softness underfoot, but I'd say that it definitely sacrifices some of the stability, especially when you compare it to older New Balance silhouettes like the 990 V3, V4, and especially the V5. But it comes down to personal preference on how you define comfort to be. If you like more of that springy, bouncy feeling, then you'll love these. But if you're looking for a shoe that feels a bit more stable, a bit more lower to the ground, then I'd probably recommend the older 990 series because those silhouettes fit a bit more balanced compared to these. Finally, in terms of the quality and the craftsmanship, so first off, material quality, I thought it was very, very nice. Just like the Knicks pair, the materials that they use on the shoe I was really happy with. Keep in mind this is a made in USA New Balance sneaker, and my natural expectations are already pretty high, and I gotta say they delivered. And from a build and craftsmanship standpoint, it wasn't perfect. So unlike my Knicks pair, that one was essentially flawless. This one in comparison, my biggest issue was that there was some creasing already in the shoe, even before I had a chance to wear them. And this is probably just to how the shoe was stuffed and shipped in transit. And there were some strings of glue stuck onto the suede, which I had to peel off myself. So it wasn't perfect, but it wasn't terrible. And I think everyone that picked up these pairs kind of has had a different experience. Some people have said the QC is terrible, while others have been saying it's flawless. So it might come down to luck of the draw. So with all that out of the way now, let me toss these on feet, I'll lace them up for you, and I'll show you guys how these look. I love what Ronnie Fleig and New Balance have done to celebrate Madison Square Garden, taking two separate sports franchises, representing two completely different sports, but executing the spirit and color scheme of those teams so well on the 990 V6, I thought they did a really, really good job. If I had to pick between this one and the Knicks pair, no question, I'm gonna go with the Knicks pair. I just think the tones look much nicer, and it's a shoe I can see myself wearing a lot more compared to something like this, which is still nice in its own way. It's just I'm a bigger fan of lighter shade sneakers. For what it's worth though, the rumors on the street is that this Rangers colorway was a bit more limited compared to the Knicks, and I know the Knicks pair is getting a re-release on newbalance.com, whereas I don't think this pair is getting re-released at all. So I don't know if that's going to impact your decision on which colorway you like more, but if I'm talking strictly about the colorways, then I gotta give it to the Knicks colorway. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about this New York Rangers inspired Kith Madison Square Garden New Balance 990 V6? What are your thoughts on this colorway? Do you think they executed it well? Is it a bit boring for you? However you feel about it, drop a comment down below and let me know what you guys think. And as usual, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can follow me on social media as well, on Instagram at esco8, on X or Twitter at sean.go spelt out, as well as visiting my website at seango.ca. So thank you so much for watching. A big shout out goes out to the sponsor for today's video, Move Insoles. Thank you everyone for your continued love and support, and I'll catch you guys all in my next review.